Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week. If you subscribed, you'd know that. Halfway through, we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. We've spun it off. We're at 1:23. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out on Instagram asking for questions. Once we gather them, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
My 2019 RAV4 gets 40 miles per gallon and does everything I need it to do. Would I appreciate an upgrade to a Venza or Lexus or regret the investment? Would the improvements be underappreciated over time?
So the Venza is based on the same platform as the Toyota RAV4 hybrid, and it sounds like a hybrid because you're getting such incredible fuel economy. To go from the RAV4 to the Venza, marginally nicer interior, I don't think it's worth it. Maybe jumping to a Lexus, it might be worth it, but you have a great product, and I would wait for the new RAV4 to see, maybe get that instead.
Yeah, definitely more refined drive and feeling in a Lexus. Venza, I agree with Zach. I mean, it's marginally better when it comes to handling.
Is it worth extra money out of your pocket to get a new one?
No. I mean, it could be slightly quieter, but...
I think that's all placebo effect.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of nicer looking, maybe. You think, oh, it's more luxurious, but I don't really think it is. I think it's really just the RAV4.
I think so, too. So I would just stick with what you have. Let's see what Toyota brings out for 2026 for the RAV4, which is when the new one is coming.
It'll be probably just about a year and a bit from now is when it comes out.
Thank you for the amazing content from you both. Thank you. I have a 2019 Honda Civic with about 45,000 miles that have recently paid off. I'm looking to upgrade in about 6 to 8 months' time to something with more capability to carry my kayak, e-bike, and easier with home projects. A bit of luxury would be nice, and topping out at around $45,000 US. I'm focused on reliability and resale value.
Well, it would kind of be nice if I had a little clue as to what you're thinking about there.
Well, it sounds like an SUV if you want the capability.
You should get in touch with our last person and buy their RAV4 hybrid. There you go. Problem solved.
Well,
except for the luxury part.
Yeah, except for the luxury part. I would say if you're looking for a little bit more luxury, how about the Acura RDX if you can stand the trackpad? How about the Crown Signia? I think in the US it's a little bit less because you've got the XLE model. Okay,
so you have a Civic, all right, which is a great product. You could just go for a CRV hybrid. It's not going to, it's same thing again. It's not particularly luxurious, but it's going to do the job. You're going to get your, or an Outback.
Outback
if you get,
is
here's
okay.
the thing is, if you get an Outback, you're going to fit right in with the outdoorsy crowd. Yeah. You're going to have your kayak on the roof. You're going to have total cred from the outdoorsy crowd. If you put a kayak and a bike up there, they'd be like, no, this guy's legit. And then you've got the turbo engine, which is definitely what you're going to want. And if you get the turbo engine, you're going to get the higher spec, and it's actually smooth and comfortable and quiet. I think Outback, Andrea.
And how about the Wilderness model? That's going to give you
major
like
points.
A whole other level. There's another one that I thought of. It's in the non-luxury category, but a Mazda CX-5, which is their outdoorsy version.
How are the seats in that, Andrea? How are the seats in that?
The seats are a little bit firm
that's
in
right.
that. However, there's a CX-5 hybrid coming. We're going to be driving that at the beginning of November. And I've heard rumors that they've improved on those seats, so we will let you know on that. Love the exterior rugged look of the RAV4, but find the interior very outdated. Do you have any updates? Whether Toyota has plans on updating interiors on upcoming models?
Well, of course they are. I mean, the RAV4 is the best-selling passenger car in North America. It's #1 seller in the US, #1 seller in Canada. It's the most important product, really, for them. We suspect it's going to go all hybrid, and you're going to have to update the interior. Are they going to splash out with an interior that's like a Kia, that's all screens and funky on the inside? I don't think so.
Here's my take on it. The Grand Highlander, all new, that base model, XLE gas model, Nothing super fancy inside that one.
Well laid out, though.
Go up, yes, well laid out. But you got to go up to that Hybrid Max Grand Highlander to get those extra bells and whistles and that more of an upscale luxury feel. So if the Grand Highlander looks like that, the base model, that's what I'm thinking the RAV4 is going to look like.
I think if you look at what they've come out with, like for example, the Crown Signia, or you look at the new Camry, so the larger screens are going to be probably in there along with the digital instrument cluster, and then they're going to still have some switches and knobs, which is what's great about the Grand Highlander base model, Andrea. Lots of buttons. So I think it's going to still be Toyota grade interior. It's never going to be fancy. It's going to be utilitarian. That's their specialty.
Exactly. Love, love, love your show. Seems so many high-end vehicles these days are coming with moonroofs. I have bad memories of leaky and clogged sunroofs from the 1970s.
Wow.
Swore I'd never get another. Have they come a long way in the design and installation of moonroofs? We've got this gorgeous panoramic sunroof in our vehicle, and we haven't had any issues with it.
Where's the wood? Touch wood. Listen, this model is particularly problematic about this sunroof, and it's got nothing to do with anything other than the drains clog. Yeah. So if you buy a car with a sunroof or a big panel roof like this, when you take it in to get it serviced, you have to say to them, please clean out the drains, because if the water that sits in there doesn't go down the drains to the ground, then it comes inside the cabin. So that can be an issue. Some panel roofs can creak and they don't open and close. My dad had a Golf sport wagon and they replaced the whole cartridge because it was creaking and wasn't opening properly. So yes, it's another source of possible problems. Does it mean you're going to have a problem?
Yeah.
No. But you could.
But they are better than from the 1970s, for sure.
Andrea wasn't even born in the 1970s.
I want to buy a compact SUV and have been considering the RAV4 CR-V and Ford Escape, and with all the incentives and tech, I think the Ford Escape is a great choice right now. I want a hybrid because my commute is 40 miles one way.
Great choice. I'm a big fan of Escape.
We just talked about that last night.
Yeah, we're putting together our list of cars for our top 5 compact SUVs, and I'm pushing for Escape. It's available with gas, hybrid, even plug-in.
Yep.
Plug-in's only front-wheel drive, but I think they'll fix that because they've already done it with Maverick, putting in all-wheel drive. I'm with you, and it's proven to be really quite good.
Yeah, when it first came out, it did have some issues, but Ford has, managed to fix these things, and it is quiet, and it's smooth, and it gets great fuel economy. So if you can get a deal on a Ford Escape hybrid, I say do it.
So the RAV4 is best in class, and then second is Escape for fuel economy.
And the Honda CR-V hybrid is terrific. That is going to be your largest hybrid option. It's really quite spacious, and I like that model a lot, but boy, it sure is pricey. Hey guys, currently leasing a 2022 VW Taos. I love it. And my plan is to buy it out when my lease comes to term in 2 years. However, interest rates on financing could be a game changer. New lease versus buying my Taos.
Well, if you're going to borrow money to buy out the car, then you're going to go to the bank and they're going to say, oh, that's nice. You want to buy out your car? That's great. It's going to be 7-8%. Or you might be able to refinance through Volkswagen. By the way, Volkswagen just got rid of their own in-house credit department. They've gone to an outside credit department. So talk to the dealer and see what kind of money they're going to, how much the money is going to cost to borrow. And what was the part about leasing a new one? Like buy it out or lease a new one?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, so it all comes down to what the rates are.
I also think you have to look at it in another way, buying versus leasing. When you own your vehicle and you've paid it off, you don't have any more monthly payments, which really is such a wonderful feeling. When you lease, you constantly give back the vehicle. And yes, you get the newest and the latest, and the new Taos it doesn't have the dual clutch transmission anymore. They've gone to an automatic. But it just depends what you want. I really love owning a vehicle because then I do not have any payments.
Did I hear it wrong? He has a lease, and should he buy it out?
Should he buy out the lease?
Okay, so that's or get a new one.
Or get a new one.
That's basically what I'm saying. So it all comes down to the numbers. How much is it going to cost for you to borrow that you know, say 20,000, say you owe on the car,
Yep.
versus taking on a whole new lease. So that's
And-
what you got to
and
run the numbers.
And what you want for yourself long term. Do you want payments? Do you not want any payments? Do you just want to drive
You know
your
what's gonna
vehicle and
it's
enjoy
all-
it? Have more money in the bank so maybe you can go on vacation?
It's happened so many times to me, Andrea. As soon as you pay the car off, you're like, I need a new car. I want a new car. And then you start it all over again, which is in the camp of might as well lease another one.
I don't feel that way.
Depends.
I don't
Depends
feel
on the
that
car.
way.
Depends how many miles you do. If you do a lot of miles, you might just
We do like Zippo miles,
Yeah.
so we're
Yeah.
better off to keep our vehicles.
Shouldn't say that, Andrea. We test drive cars. We shouldn't say we do Zippo miles. We
No,
put a lot
I'm
of miles
saying
on
in
our personal.
own personal vehicles. That's the beauty of them, is that the mileage is so low on them that if we do decide to sell, people are going to be like, what year is that?
How come you have no miles on it? And we're
That's
like, well, we have all these
crazy.
other cars to drive that are someone else's.
For sure. Any info on the BMW 2025 X3? It's all new.
And it's not pretty.
Yeah.
Especially the inside. I don't know. Well, we're going to have to wait and see on that one. Do you know what's really... Get me on BMW here for a second, Andrea. BMW Canada in the East, they have a Z4 or a Z4
I know.
with the high output inline 6-cylinder and a manual transmission in the press fleet.
How lucky
Do
are
we
they?
have that in our press fleet?
I got an idea.
What's that?
How about BMW fly us to Ontario?
I'm gonna email
and
them.
we can drive it. Because
Before-
Zach and I were actually
Thinking of
thinking
buying
about
it.
that one day maybe we would buy the Z4 because now there's a manual. It looks gorgeous
Mm-hmm.
instead of buying a Porsche Boxster one day.
All right, so
Anyway,
we're way off
back
topic
to
here.
the
X3. So
okay, so for 2025, it has a starting price of 58.9 Canadian. I'm sorry, I don't have the U.S. numbers. It's bigger, over 1.3 inches longer, and over an inch wider. I always thought the X3 was already big. So there's upgrades that were made to the inline 6 engine, and the X330 with the 2-liter turbocharged has 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. It should hit dealerships anytime now. BMW says sometime in the fourth quarter of 2024.
well, I think we should go to Toronto and drive the Z4 before it comes off the road and the snow starts to fly, and get the X3 too.
Well, I think that would be a wonderful idea, Zach. How about we reach out to BMW
No,
and we
I'm just
sort this out?
I'm just gonna send the video to JF, and I'll put a timestamp in the email and say, start watching here.
Let's do that.
JF, we could be potential
would
buyers
love to
of
come.
your Z4
Yeah,
with
we'd
the
love to
manual,
come.
even in the green. The press car is green. We'd even get it in the green.
We'd even get it in the green.
Yeah.
With the manual. It's the
Yeah.
manual.
But Andrea, if we get a Z4, that means goodbye to Ruby.
Okay, let's just not talk about that right now. I just got her. Thanks for all the UX conversation. UX conversation in the last video. We
I even said
in
in the last video, or one of the last videos, I'm like, there's too much Lexus Toyota talk in these.
Well, they're popular brands. I
Yeah.
don't know. People have got questions. Current owner of a low mileage 2013 CT200.
A CT200.
Does anybody remember
Yeah.
that vehicle?
Yeah, the CT200 was based on the Prius, and
So
it was
cute.
you know the dog walker Chris.
He's got it.
He's got one of those. Yeah.
He walks a Weimaraner or a Visual Weimaraner.
it's a Weimaraner.
And he
Opens the
sticks
sunroof.
his head out the sunroof. It is just so cute
So
to see.
he's a dog walker. He picks the dog up and he drives with the sunroof open. And the whole time to the park, you hear woof, 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 the Weimaraner at the top of the
I
CT.
love it. He should take a photo. He should frame that photo because, man, it just looks so good. One day when I see him with the dog hanging out, I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to send it to Lexus because they would love that. Love its style, but he's missing out on power.
Of course.
And new driver safety technology. Mid-50s with no kids, and we'd be looking to buy used in the future or a used NX200T now. Also, the Crown Signia looks appealing. We'll grow old with this car. I live in a northern U.S. city, appreciate styling, and I like small cars.
I am going to throw one at you. Ready? We're driving it this week, Andrea. The Honda Civic Hybrid. Man, oh man, oh man, is that good.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. If
So
you like
smooth.
small cars, perfect.
Oh, and it's not even that small, really, but boy, it handles so well for a hybrid. Smooth, quiet, kind of fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, kind of fun. So there you go. The NX that you're talking about is fine. It's a fine vehicle, but the technology is old, but you're used to that. You've got more power in it, but the seats don't really heat up, and it's just kind of gotten old. I feel like because you keep your vehicles for so long and you want to hold on to this one long term, get something that has more of the updated technology.
The Honda Civic Hybrid is absolutely a masterclass in how to do a hybrid. They did a great job on that.
Beautiful, wonderful. All I can say is good things about it. Now, there's a few things like no vents in the rear seat.
I know, but they don't have any kids.
Few things that I'm picky about.
The only thing that's
okay.
as a negative for you if you're living in the northern United States is you need good winter tires, and you can get by with front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive would be nice, but you have a car now that I believe is only, I think it's just front-wheel drive. I can't remember now.
I don't know.
But there you go.
What vehicle would each of you pick that you'd say has impressed you more than you expected it to this year?
Oh, a Civic Hybrid.
Civic. You know, somebody said, boy, all the reviews on the Civic Hybrid are so good, and we hadn't driven it yet. And my response is, well, we haven't driven it yet, but the Civic is good. The gas model is good. But man, when we got in that, we just couldn't believe how good it is. The other one that's really impressed me is the Crown Signia.
Oh, by the way, if you're watching this the first day, no, when's the video? Yeah, the first day it comes out, this Questions, Coffee and Cars.
The Civic will already be out,
been out.
I think.
It came out on the weekend, so make sure you watch it.
Make sure you watch
I tell you
that.
what I'll do is I'll put the link here, and you can watch it.
Do it. Love your content. Thank you for your awesome, honest reviews. Thank you. Why? Many manufacturers are not giving the option of fog lamps anymore. I know they have projector LED headlamps and everything with other fancy name in it, but the actual fog lamp I feel is still useful, especially during those foggy, snowy, or darker days, and even when driving at night. Also, Mazda CX-5 Hybrid is due this winter in Canada, but is there any news about the Mazda CX-5 Hybrid?
Okay, so the fog light thing was something that you could maybe say, okay, I need fog lights, because in the old days you could actually run the fog lights and turn the headlamps off. And the reason why fog lamps were way down at the bottom is because in fog, you don't want the headlamps reflecting off the fog and then it's just white. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
So you would run fog lamps at the bottom, and in Europe often they were like this amber orange color, and so you could see a little bit better where they were down there. Then they turned into driving lights, and now because your headlamps are always on, you can't turn them off. It's just really a style thing. They don't really do much anymore.
And some manufacturers are still offering them, maybe not standard equipment, but available, especially on SUVs, but they're just not necessary anymore. If it is important to you when you are buying a vehicle, then look for a manufacturer that is still offering them.
Yeah.
As for the CX-5 Hybrid, you're right, it's coming. Should be here. Anytime we'll be driving it, as I mentioned at the beginning of November, but nothing yet on the CX-5. Lots of rumors. Some are saying it's going to be a pure EV.
Here's the thing. What you want to watch out for is Toyota RAV4 is going to be updated in about a year's time as a 2026 model, okay? That is the most hotly contested segment in the auto industry. And you will see every brand is either going to have a new model or a heavily updated model. So right around then is when Honda will do like a big facelift on the CR-V.
Yeah.
CX-5 is well past due for an all-new model. And then you go through the entire industry, whether it's the Ford Escape or so on. That is starting in about a year's time from now, there's going to be an absolute rush of compact SUVs that are going to be heavily updated or replaced, and that's going to be one of them.
So I'm going to throw something at you. We speak to Mazda Canada all the time. There are reports coming from the US, just rumors, not from Mazda USA, that the CX-5 is going because the CX-50 is here. I spoke to Mazda Canada about it. It is their best seller, the CX-5. It sells so well for them. So The PR team said, I can't imagine us getting rid of the CX-5. However, you will notice that Mazda has changed their numbers. So all their new vehicles are CX-50, CX-70, CX-90.
What one do we not get in North America that they get in Europe, Andrea?
The CX-60.
I think that the CX-50 is going to replace the CX-5.
CX-60 is going to replace the CX-5. There are rumors that the CX, if they do change it and they change the lettering, numbering of the CX-5, some are saying that maybe it's going to be an EV. Now, Zach, you did mention that the MX-30, their pure EV, which doesn't offer a lot of range, may be on the chopping block.
Yes, so that was, I'm trying to remember, I think I read it on Google, an article for the next year, is that they're discontinuing it. And but then I said to Andrea, well, that tells me that there's going to have to be a new EV. And the reason is because of ZEV mandates, zero emission vehicle mandates in certain states and in certain provinces. If you don't sell a pure EV, you're fined on every single gas model you sell. And we're talking tens of thousands of dollars. So the fact that they said that car's going means something else is coming. And that's where maybe the CX-5 comes.
So I'm suspicious about it. These are all rumors. We're just, you know, chatting here amongst friends. But I'm starting to think there's something up there with that CX-5, possibly an EV coming.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But it's their best seller. You just think about it. Are you going to axe your best-selling car? I don't know. But it could also open the door for selling them in parallel. So you could have the EV and you could have an updated CX-5. I don't think they're going to abandon the CX-5 sort of, well, they might abandon the name, but I truly believe CX-60 will come to replace it.
And maybe a variation of that, you know, like how Volkswagen does it. They might sell a Tiguan in Europe looking a certain way, and then the North American market gets a variation of that. Could be the same, that we do get the CX-60. It's a plug-in hybrid, or it's a hybrid. And maybe they'll do like what BMW is doing. Or sorry, yeah, BMW, what they did with the Countryman. Mini has got a gas model. They also have an EV version of that on the same platform.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the tech. I don't know about the technology behind it. I would suspect if you go into the tool chest, they're going to pull from the same tool chest that Subaru did, which is go to Toyota, use their platform. They just don't have the research and development costs, I think, to do their own standalone EV that's going to compete. I think it's going to be a rebadged something or other.
Could be.
I just want to see what time we're at here. Oh yeah, I got to wrap it up, Andrea.
Anyway, interesting conversation. I got to say, I really enjoyed this episode. Anyway, follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea if you want to get a question in. I put a post out every Sunday morning asking for questions, and once we gather them, the post is deleted and we start the show.
So we'll see you then.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.